Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. Today I'm working on two double door teardrop swags for spring. I got these two swags from the reshop because Craft Outlet has the 36 inch, which is way too big. They're ginormous when they're done. I mean, these are 28 inches and they're huge when they're done. Um, it's in the burlap color, and it's just like Christmas greenery, like a regular Christmas PVC greenery, except it's burlap colored. So I'm just fluffing it out right here. There's probably about 50 tips, so you can put a lot of stuff in here. And even though this looks kind of, you know, petite now, it does get a little big. So the mesh I'm using is a natural and a green border stripe. I was not sure what color I wanted to go with. I knew that I just didn't want to put a bunch of natural in there because it was like big brown blob. But I didn't want green like in your face, but I needed something kind of neutral because there's a lot of color in the ribbons and the flowers. So I ended up ordering the border green, and I'm layering it underneath the natural mesh, just so the natural tones down the green a little bit. And these are cut at 20 inches. I'm just folding the edges under, ruffling them up, and twisting them in. And you can see I'm putting the ruffle in, and then I'll untwist it and put the next ruffle in because I don't want to create a bunch of bulk, since the ruffles need to go in, ribbons need to go in, a lot of stuff needs to go on top of it. And because they're thicker, you don't get as many twists as you would in a pipe cleaner. And I cut 2 rolls of ribbon. I ended up using maybe, if I had 18 pieces, I maybe used 15. I had a little bit of mesh left over from each one, and I was like, there's nowhere else to put it because it was full. Yeah, I did a 36-inch fall swag. It was the same exact thing as this one, except it was a 36-inch version. And it ended up being, it's about 4 feet long, y'all. It is so big. So when my friend Jenny asked me to make these for her sister, I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. But I knew that I couldn't do the 36-inch ones. They were just, they're really, search like fall teardrop swag on my channel. You can go watch the video. You can't even see the swag half the time because it's not in frame because it's so huge. These ended up being a nice size for a double door, I think, at least. So you can see that the green is in there, and you can see it, but it's not like slapping you in the face. And I didn't use every tie. There's some in the back that aren't used. There's some that I use later for the ribbons. You just got to get it on there and fill it up. I think this is one of the last projects I filmed before my back kind of gave out on me, and it was a week or so without filming anything. I actually filmed my first thing in a long time this morning. Not sure if it was a good idea, but it made a pretty wreath, so. So we are getting towards the bottom, and I want to make sure that I have one ruffle right at the very bottom because it's important for me to keep that point. So I'm not going to try to put like 3 or 4 of them down here. I'm going to put one. And I'm going to cut, there's like a 6-inch piece of the tie at the bottom that I just end up cutting off. I think, at least. I don't know. Yeah. So right now the shape is not really there. We kind of lose the shape because we've added so much mesh to it, but once we add the ribbons and everything, it comes back. Alright, so here is the finished base. And here's all my florals that are going in there. I bought way too much. I guess I had that other 36-inch wreath stuck in my head, and I was like, I went through so many florals on that. I need to order, I need to buy, I need to find. But I ended up like not using maybe a quarter of the stuff I bought floral wise. I used like all the ribbon. So this is what kind of bow do we have on top here? I think this is a 3-loop bow. There's a 4-inch ribbon. There's some 2.5-inch ribbons. There's some 1.5-inch ribbons. They're all from the reshop because I was like, let me just order everything from here. I wanted to try it out, and they did have the forms that I needed. So yeah, everything came from there. That pink ribbon, the 4-inch, it was split. It is cleverly hidden in the bow on the next one, which you won't see until the pictures, and you can't see it anyway. I ended up I was like, I am going to disguise this because I am not losing a big section of this 4-inch ribbon. It's too expensive. There's a plaid, there's a polka dot, there's a Swiss dot, there's just the green is plain. Is that all that's in there? Is it really just 4 ribbons? Oh, it's 5. Because I didn't put the pink in the bottom bow because I wanted it to be a little smaller. I thought the 4-inch pink on the bottom bow, which is just like the bottom bow is just a funky bow. I thought that the pink down there would be a little bit overwhelming because it's supposed to narrow down. Putting our dovetails in. So yeah, I really love 4-inch ribbon. It can overwhelm a smaller bow like the one. I think the one on top is a 12-inch bow. The one on the bottom is like a 10-inch bow. I feel like if I had added it to the 10-inch bow, it would have just been a lot. Alright, so these are 2 peonies. Where did I get these from? I think I got these from Walmart. Are they peonies? No, they're not. They're dahlias? I don't know. I don't think Walmart said what they were. They might have. They're 2 big pink flowers. And I know that I want those to kind of be my focal points. And I'm going to put those in and then kind of build around it. But first I need to put in my ribbon tails. So I cut 3 14-inch of the 4-inch. And I'm just going to spread those out. There's going to be 2 on the side with the big bow, and there's going to be 1 on the side with the smaller bow. So the color's all throughout the wreath, but it's not like overwhelming that bow on the bottom because it's kind of off to the side. And since I'm just going to be putting ribbons in for the next couple of minutes, because y'all know it always takes me forever, when you are doing something where you have to have 2, my advice is to do one completely. Don't go back and forth working on one and then like adding ribbon to one, adding ribbon to the other. Like, do one completely. Have it in front of you while you're making the second one. And also, I took a picture of it and I mirrored it on my phone so I could see, okay, I need to do the opposite of what I'm seeing, but what I'm seeing on the opposite of what I'm seeing on the wreath hanging in front of me, but exactly what I'm seeing on my phone sitting in front of me. So I had like 2 points of reference. So these are all cut at 14 inches too. And I believe, yeah, the blue goes with the orange, and then the green goes with that plaid. All these ribbons were great. That plaid was terrible. It was not one of the brand name ribbons that Craft Outlet, the Reshop, that all these places sell. It's like a no-name brand, or like a generic one. It's very loosely woven. By now you have seen, no, you have not seen, look at my calendar right here. This is coming out on the 9th. There is a ribbon test on the 17th where I show you how to deal with ribbons that are going to fray, and I knew this was going to fray. As soon as I touched it, I was like, this is going to be a mess. But I show you how to use some spray adhesive to keep your ribbons from fraying. And the next wreath, before I even put it together, I sprayed all the ribbons, but I really only needed to spray this plaid. In the long version, which was up yesterday, we also talked at length about how to price custom things and how to decide if you're going to do custom things. So if that's something you want to watch, if you normally don't watch the long version, it's actually there's a lot of information. It's not just me telling you, oh, I went here and I did that. Like, it's a lot of how I handle custom work, how I price work, how there's no such thing as a friends and family discount, except with this wreath. One person gets friends and family discount. And I explain why, we kind of go into that a little bit, but it's mostly just saying that, I will do custom work. Like, I prefer custom work. I love somebody to say, hey, this is how much money I have. What can I get for it? And me to say, okay, well, that's not enough to even get a bow from me, but this is where I start. This is how much I can, if you want to give me more, I will make it. I will give you more. But yeah, I just went into it a little bit. That's a whole thing we could get into with custom work. Just the main takeaway is you can't order a custom Christmas wreath on December 15th. You need to order that in like October. Like, Jenny gave me more than adequate time. She needs to give this to her sister on March 5th, which is last week for you guys. It's like 2 months from me, from when I'm filming this. I filmed this at the end of January maybe, and today is February 6th when I'm doing the voiceover. So, these have been done for a while. And now I'm just kind of tentatively placing my florals. I know kind of where I want to go. I think I place a lot and then I go back and glue it, but I knew I wanted these big flowers to be spaced out evenly, and I wanted them to kind of go with the bows. And each swag got the 2 peonies or dahlias or whatever they are, and they got a whole bush of the orange ranunculus you see right there, and some other little filler flowers and stuff. But these are also from Walmart, and they are very nice quality. And I'm trying to create little clusters, so I put one ranunculus at the bottom, and then I'm going to put one by each pink flower. Like, see this one? Is that where? Yeah, see, it goes there, and then I'm going to add another yellow flower to that later on, just to kind of, like, the bow is the main focal area up there, but just off to the side, there's another little secondary focal area. And I'm just kind of spreading these around. When I go to make the second swag, I look to see where the flowers are, but I made sure the pink ones were where they were supposed to be, where my clusters were where they're supposed to be, and then I took the rest of the flowers and just kind of dispersed them evenly. This is some seeded eucalyptus. I think this is also from Walmart. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe these were called yellow fuzzy balls. I saw them and I was like, well, that's like an orangey yellow that I wanted. And these are just kind of, they're going in some of the ribbon tails. I'm just kind of dotting them around because it's a nice pop of color. There's not really any yellow in here except a little bit in the plaid, but I thought the yellow would go good. You would complement the orange, it would contrast with the pink. Yeah, I mean, these were like very, very happy swags. Actually, the whole time I was in like such a good mood the whole time I was doing this, even though my back was about to kill me. And now this is some eucalyptus that I'm just tucking in here and there. And I went with the eucalyptus because it's a gray green, and I didn't want it to, like the peonies or the dahlias or whatever they are, they have a dark green leaf with them. And then there's the bright green of the ribbon and the green from the Deco mesh. So I wanted more of a gray green, silver green, blue green for the actual foliage. And I put these in, they don't stay. They did not make it to the, well, did they might have made it to the final, no, they didn't make it to the final photos, no. Because I put them in and I was like, oh, let me just add this little bit of pink. And then I was looking at it later after I hung it up on the wall and I was like, nope. I think it's too pastel, a pink. You know, like the flowers and that pink ribbon are pretty in your face, and this was just like, oh, I'm a nice little dainty pink. And I needed like an aggressive punch you in the face pink. So yeah, I think each one took me about an hour and a half, so it was like 3 hours. The second one did not take nearly as long as the first one because I already knew where everything was going, but you know, maybe two and a half, 3 hours. I also thought about adding purple to contrast the orange flowers, but yeah, I decided against that as well. So I did post a big picture of these on Instagram with my mom holding up so you can kind of see for scale, because you know, when they're on my shed you can't really tell how big they are, but they are. They're pretty big. I mean, you can see the mat right there is, what is that, 18 by 24? And there they are. I think they came out really good. Jenny was happy. I hope her sister will be happy. They're spring. They can stay up through Easter. I even think they could go into summer if she so chose. This is a little close-up of kind of all the colors. Alright guys, thanks for watching. You can follow me on Instagram, check out my Etsy, follow me on Patreon, tip me on Venmo. Everything's linked down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.